All right, so I'm finally in a hotel room. Wait till you see what time it is here. Not in London. 4:34 a.m. Well, I'm actually in Clearwater, so I'm about 25 minutes away from the Tampa Airport. Not sure what time the flight is tomorrow. I'm going to go to sleep, but I got to tell you the story. Hey, what's up, everybody? Tony with La Lido Loca. And wow, my head is still spinning from all of the activity last night. I'm trying to get to London in the UK, so I can take a transfer to Southampton and get on a Princess cruise ship. Fortunately for me, that cruise does not leave until June the 1st. And well, by all accounts, it's the 30th of June, so I still have the 30th, the 31st, and then, the morning of the 1st to get to London. I think I'm going to get there, but I've got to walk through what happened last night because I've been on such a great run of no challenges when it comes to flying. Last night ticked all the boxes for crazy challenges on the flight. And maybe I jinxed it. I don't know. But here's the deal. My flight was set to leave at 10:45 p.m. from Tampa. Direct flight to Heathrow in London. It's going to be an 8.5-hour flight. And with the time change, I was going to end up there in London at 12:30 p.m. today, the 30th. And that was going to give me the half a day on the 30th, the full day on the 31st, half a day on the 1st. To experience London. On the front end, let me say, this is why when I'm doing these big international trips, this is why I like to give myself at least 2 travel days in case something goes wrong. Up until this point, up until last night, nothing had gone wrong, but it started out well. The lovely Jenny B dropped me off at the airport there in Tampa a little bit after 8 p.m. I went to ticketing, showed my passport, then I jumped on the tram to go to security. That was about 8:25. This was the first time ever I had the TSA pre-check, and I was dang excited because it was a dream. It was beautiful. It was so late that there wasn't a separate TSA pre-check line, so they had us intermingled with the other people. Pretty short line, but they gave you a little ticket that said that you were TSA pre-check. And so it was a really interesting scenario when you got to the belt where you had to, put your luggage on the belt. The lady was like, look, if you don't have TSA pre-check, you need to take off your shoes, you need to take off your belt, you need to take every bit of electronics out of your bag. That means if you have a Kindle, if you have a Nintendo Switch, if you have a laptop, if you have a CPAP, all of that has to come out of your bag. But if you're TSA pre-check, just walk through. No big deal. Just put your stuff on the conveyor belt and go on through. The ironic thing is all those electronics that she mentioned, I had in my bag. It was amazing. I've never had this TSA pre-check. I just walked through. I didn't have to take off my shoes. I didn't have to take off my belt. I didn't have to take any of those electronics out of the bag. I think when I passed through the metal detector, the poor guy behind me had all of those electronics out and he was taking his pants off. It was crazy. I was so excited. And then I got to the gate. Now, I booked this flight through Delta, but this trip from Tampa to Heathrow was being handled by Virgin Atlantic. This is the first time I would be on a Virgin Atlantic airplane. I heard they were a little bit different, and they were. I got to the gate around 8:30 p.m. That meant that I had almost 2 hours to kill sitting at the gate, but I would rather sit at the gate than be late to the gate. And then they started boarding us a little bit after 10 p.m. I actually walked the jetway about 10:12. I made it to my seat. I got settled in. I'm flying Economy Delight, which is a little bigger than just regular economy. And it was fine. They had nice amenities there. I got a blanket and a pillow, really big screen of entertainment. And by the time it got to be 10:45, 11 p.m., the plane was boarded and we began to taxi away from the airport. And it was weird. We taxied for a long time. We taxied, and then we taxied some more. And that's when this thing started to go sideways. During the long taxi period, the captain came on board and said, you may notice we've been taxiing for a while. We're actually taxiing back to the gate because on our way out, we heard a really weird noise in the nose cone landing gear. A noise that we were not comfortable with. We've been on the radio, on the phone with our engineering team. We want them to look at it. Shouldn't take any more than 15 minutes. We're going to taxi our way back to the gate and have the engineering team look at it and see where we go from here. all right, it's 11 o'clock. Maybe this is going to be a half an hour delay. And even taxiing to the gate was a challenge. We had to stop a couple times along the way while they determined what gate that we would go to. But either way, I think we got back to the gate around 11:15, 11:20, and then the engineering team came and did their thing. And about 12 o'clock, we heard from the captain that they had identified some part of that nose cone landing gear that they thought maybe needed to be lubricated. Some sort of lubrication maintenance needed to be done, and they were going to have the engineering team do the lubrication maintenance. And all should be well, in the next 40 minutes, we're going to try to take off again. So that put us at about, that put us at about 12:40, 12:45. And the captain came on and said, look, they completed the lubrication maintenance. And on the plane, you could hear that they were testing the steering. And so the captain came on and said this lubrication maintenance was done. They just had to fill out some paperwork, and then we would be on our way. So that was about 12:45. Fast forward to 1:10 a.m., the captain comes on and says, look, we got the lubrication maintenance done. We got the paperwork surrounding the lubrication maintenance signed off. The challenge that we have right now is we can't get the flight center, the home office, to give us a new flight path to Heathrow. We're not sure where we're going to go, that kind of thing. And we're waiting on that. But the other challenge is that we're running up against our time as two pilots. There's two pilots on board. We're almost out of the amount of time that we can be on an airplane. So if we don't hear something in the next 5 minutes, we will be canceling this flight. So I'm staring at my watch. It's like 1:11, 1:12, 1:13, 1:14, and I'm thinking, oh man, this thing is gonna be canceled. Then all of a sudden, the plane starts to move, and then an announcement comes over the speaker, and it's a different person, and we're told that we are now underway, that we will be leaving and making our way to London, and applause breaks out in the plane. Wah! Applause. Everybody is excited, and then we start taxiing, and then we're taxiing, and then we are taxiing, and then we are taxiing, and it started, a little bit of a deja vu thing kicks in, and then all of a sudden the announcement light comes across the screen. The captain comes on and says, I still hear the noise. I'm not comfortable flying the plane with that nose cone landing gear noise. Many apologies, but we're going to go back to the gate, and we're going to cancel this flight. Hang tight. We're going to tell you what to do after that. And so you got a whole plane full of people that are all of a sudden super bummed out. 1:52 a.m. and we are deplaning. No flight to London tonight. 1:52 a.m. We debark. We all pile onto the tram, which was empty earlier. We make our way to the ticket counter, and there's a team of people at the Virgin Atlantic ticket counter, and what they tell us is this. If you do not need to stay in a hotel, if you do not need transportation, just go home. We'll send out an email later telling you about the status of your flight, whether it's rebooked, when it's rebooked, that kind of thing. However, if you do need a hotel for the night, if you do need transportation to that hotel, if you need a food voucher, wait in this line and we will hook you up. Now here's the decision tree that I was going through. I had texted Jenny B around 1 a.m. saying that the flight may be canceled, but I knew she was asleep and she did not answer that text message. And so I was going through this process like, do I want to wake Jenny up at 2 a.m. and have her drive, the 45-hour drive in the dark, essentially from Spring Hill, Florida to Tampa to pick me up, just to take me home, to maybe find out early the next morning that I have to be at the airport? Or would it be better served for me to go to a hotel? I decided to go to a hotel. I might be regretting that decision because of the amount of time that it took. So I stood there at that line at the Virgin Atlantic ticket counter for a while. And then eventually someone showed up and they had hotel vouchers. They told us to take the voucher, go grab our luggage, and then go get on the shuttle bus that would take us to one of the hotels that they had arranged. So just for a time framing point of reference, I got off of the airplane at 1:53 a.m. I had voucher in hand on my way to collect my luggage at 2:46 a.m. So just about an hour to get off the plane and to get these arrangements. So after I grabbed my bag, I joined the sea of people waiting for a shuttle bus. A couple shuttle buses came, filled up. It was a little bit of a process. I was getting a little tired. It felt like a long time, but looking at the timestamps on the video clips now, it was really only about I don't know, 30 minutes from the time I picked up my bag to the time I decided to take a cab. I saw a family taking a cab. I knew they were going to the same hotel, and I said, hey, can I ride with you guys? We'll split the cab fare. And so by 3:15 a.m., I was on my way to the Candlewood Suites at Safety Harbor in Clearwater, about a 25-minute ride away from the airport. Still uncertain as to what would happen with my flight to London. Still a little apprehensive about, am I going to make it there on time for the cruise? But we got to the hotel, and if you've ever checked in a hotel, you know that process is only a 5-10 minute process. However, the folks at the Candlewood Suites at Safety Harbor, the poor guy that works the overnight, the guy that does the nightly audit, he did not know what to do with the fact that 36 rooms had been booked online by Virgin Atlantic. He did not know how to allocate those rooms. He did not know how to do the payment process. It was a challenge. So by the time that I rolled up to the Candlewood Suites, there was already a lobby full of people. And there was a time at the Candlewood where I did not think we were going to get a room because this issue of payment became a big deal. Even though Virgin Atlantic had held 36 rooms with some sort of credit card, the guy there said that they didn't know how to charge that credit card. And so he was on the phone with the manager, 2 managers, that kind of thing. And so the compromise, if you want to call it that they finally came up with is, look, how about we just charge you for the room that you were supposed to be getting for free so that you could stay near the airport. How about we charge you for the room, and then you can work with Virgin Atlantic to get your money back. And collectively, the people that were in that lobby that had been standing there for a while were like, yeah, let's just do that. So they gave us a room rate of $99, which we had to pay for ourselves. Now we have to go through the process of getting that reimbursed from Virgin Atlantic. But I hit the lobby of the Candlewood around 3:35 a.m. And as you saw from the opening, I landed in this room at 4:42 a.m. Certainly was a travel adventure. I feel like the folks at Virgin Atlantic, other than the aftermath, on the plane, it was great. They gave us drinks while we were seated, the water, they gave us snacks. We were on that plane for about 3 hours, essentially going nowhere. And they did their best to keep us comfortable. They left the entertainment system on. So like I watched an interesting documentary about the night that Kobe Bryant got 81 points in a basketball game. I watched half of an Irish movie that I don't remember the name of that's got Colin Farrell in it, where his best friend doesn't talk to him anymore. I really hope to watch the rest of that movie on the plane later. There's the hint. Yes, I will be getting on a plane later. So I laid my head down around 5 a.m. I set an alarm for 8 a.m. I woke up and I had an email from Virgin Atlantic that said, hooray, we have a flight booked for you later on today. So my new flight from Tampa to Heathrow will occur today, hopefully at 5:45 p.m. I think I have this room for most of the day, which is great. And so I guess I'm just going to Uber something over to the airport. There's not a shuttle back from here because it's so far away. Hopefully I can get that reimbursed. So that's the good news. And I guess the silver lining of this thing is the fact that I've got an extra day and a half of travel baked in. If this flight doesn't happen today, which I don't want to jinx that, then I could still even travel tomorrow and get right to the cruise port, But I do have a hotel in London booked for today, which I think I'm going to lose. I'll try to claim that on my travel insurance. And then I have a hotel in London tomorrow. So overall, I count it as good. Life is not perfect. Sometimes you're the windshield. Sometimes you're the bug. I did get that victory of the wonderful TSA experience. I'm still London bound, but I'm still in the Sunshine State. And we'll see what happens next. How's your last 12 hours been? Mine's been a ride. Hope you guys are doing great. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, and if you want to see the rest of this London adventure, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. Show your support for the show by hitting the like button. This is Tony for La Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.